Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Part of game is dealing with rejection. And I got to shout out a young man who supports me, Darren. I saw something on his IG. He had this Pakistani woman. I can't think of her name, but I've seen clips of her all over the internet. I think her last name is Khan. I'm never sure about her first name, but she be hitting some serious stuff. But she was talking about like the differences between men of Latino and African descent and everybody else as far as approaching a woman and handling rejection. Because she said, you know, if a Latino man, like a man in South America or a man from the Caribbean, African American man, approaches a woman and, you know, approaches her and be trying to holler and she say she married, they'd be like, oh, okay, he a lucky man. And they move on. Meanwhile, men who aren't Latino or African American or, you know, African descent, you know, they like, oh, you know, that woman rejected me. They act like she was the only woman in the world. In fact, she said that's the reason why African descended and Latino men have so many women, because, you know, they just go through the rejection. And I just laughed about it because she was right. That's part of the game. That's part of the game. In fact, look, let's bring race into it. A lot of, within the black community, at least in America, you're talking about in the major cities all over, men are used to hollering at a woman and she's just rejecting. And he's just like, shoot, they know what to do. They don't get upset about the shit. Now, I can't speak for other communities, but I know right there, rejection is something that don't bother most men. This ain't gonna be every single brother or whatever, but that's part of it. Sometimes a woman is going to give you that, like, you know, she ain't interested in something, you know, most times the dudes be like, whatever. You have a good day anyway, or, you know, laughing about it, because part of game is dealing with rejection. And I don't care who you are. I don't care how select you might be. I don't care how tall you are, how muscular you are. You know, I always promote body game, how handsome you are, even how thorough your mouthpiece usually is. A woman can reject you for 1,000 reasons. Part of game is handling the rejection and moving on, having a thick skin. In fact, shout out this, he's in my inner circle. We know him as the holler monster. He'll tell you. Shoot, you get some dudes, they know every woman ain't gonna try to holler. Or they approach a woman or something like that. They know every woman ain't gonna be like, yes, yes, yes. And they made a game out of it. That's rejection. You know, when you're talking about sports, let's use a sports example. Every single quarterback every single quarterback, no matter how great, has gotten intercepted, has missed a throw, has lost a game. Every single player, every single wide receiver has dropped a great pass. Every single great running back has fumbled. You know what they do? They come right back. In basketball, I don't care who the player is, they missed a game-winning shot. They missed a game-winning free throw. What they do? They just come back to it. It's the same thing with dealing with women. Every woman ain't gonna want you. I don't care who you are. But see, you get a lot of guys, they get that one woman who reject them and they thinking about her for life. They thinking about her for life. Instead of just saying, oh well, that's part of it. Shoot, I've been rejected plenty of times. Any man's been rejected. Do I sit there and wonder about the woman and like, oh, she rejected me? I don't care how fine she is and everything. You learn from it. See, that's part of the game, even how to roll it off or have fun with it. Because see, let's turn it around. A woman ain't evil for rejecting you. You don't know her situation. Say you approach a woman in the street or something like that, or at a club. You don't know what's up. Like, I'll give you an example. This wasn't a rejection. I ain't saying anything to this woman, but, you know, it popped in my head. I remember it was a Target years ago, and I saw this, and I was just getting something, and I saw this young lady. Man, she was fine. I mean, she was fine, everything. But one of the things I learned was hang back a bit. Now, me hanging back kept me from being in a fight because our husband and kids came right around the corner. See, if a woman reject you, you don't know her situation. You don't know that woman. She might have a man. You know, she might have a man. It ain't just like she just don't find you attractive. She might be happily married or in a relationship, you know, or she just might not be in the mood that particular moment to be approached. And then, of course, she just might not find you attractive. It's no thing in that. Remember, she still got, hey, I don't care how you look at the whole choice paradigm, whether it's cold approach or she choosing you, she still got to choose no matter what, you know? And you don't know why. Shit, she might not, I personally know some pretty lesbians. I personally know some pretty lesbians. They fine, gorgeous, could probably have a big following on IG. They just ain't messing with men. They ain't nothing wrong. Don't mean something wrong with you. See, one of the things is a lot of guys, when they get rejected, they feel like it's something wrong with them. No, might not be anything wrong. Like you got a lot of guys saying, well, I'm handsome. How come women doing this or that? Well, you know, of course, on one hand, yeah, if you get constant women rejecting you, it's on you. But if you get just one in particular, you really don't know. You really don't know. And that's part of the game. Sometimes you just shoot your shot and be like, oh, well, missed the shot. Oh, well, you know. Because, you know, and some guys know that. Some guys know that. You know, they'll say something like, you know, shoot that jumper. Oh, well, it missed. Oh, well, you know. My thing is learn from it. So learn from each rejection. You know, so at least you getting your part together. And no, like I said, no matter how much you got your stuff together, you don't know what's up with the woman, but that's all part of the game. And look at it another way. If that woman rejects you, right? Obviously, she don't want you. So what good is she? That's why you don't even get mad. What good is she? She reject you. Okay, what good was she? And I don't mean like she's a bad person or anything like that. She's probably a great person. But if she don't want you, she gonna be a good girlfriend? She gonna be good in bed? She ain't gonna be none of those things. She don't want you, what's the point? Relationships are a two-way thing. It's a dance. She don't want to dance. So do you get mad at her? No, you just say, oh, okay. Because like I said, you don't know the whole situation. Hell, you could have tried to holler at her and her man right over there, he pulling out his gun. I've known situations in the streets where dudes got killed behind that. You know? Now, you know, so it's like, okay, she rejected, but that's part of the game. That's part of the game. Now, some guys part of the problem, and that Pakistani cutie actually pointed it out. Some guys get so caught up in that woman, they feel like it's the end of the world. It's one woman out of 4 billion. Don't worry about it. Like I seen a guy, now we call this dude, I called him the Dark Jedi. Other people call him the Rhino. Now, I'm gonna tell you what, this how I remember it was a situation where he was facing prison, right? He was facing prison and he was like, hey, Rom, you know, I gotta get laid. You know, I might be going to prison on Monday. I was like, cause he had a court case. I was like, all right. Took him to a pool party with me. And this dude, this was early 90s. This dude, way he was dressed was crazy. he was dressed crazy, but he was a rhino. So he just went full. As soon as you stopped at the party, he just jumped in and was going for him. About 3 or 4 women rejected him. And then one started talking with him. They stayed the whole night. And I remember the whole time he's like looking at her like this. They sitting by each other. I'm like, damn. Then he came to me, he said, Rom, I don't need a ride home. Now, he beat the case. That's another story. It was actually the attorneys, everything said it was the perfect case. I ain't going to get into it. It's probably in some law school books or something. That's how perfect it was. He didn't go and was dealing with her for a few months. But see, he wasn't worried about the rejection. I noticed like when the women reject him, he didn't be like, oh, sad and all of that. He just went on to the next one. But that's part of the game. All right. So anyway, that's all I have for right now. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.